Chemical trills, also known as chemtrails, is completely disturbing and pure evil. There are two types of trills that are left by airplane in the sky. One, contrails or condensation trills, and two, chemtrails. Let's talk about what contrails are. Contrails, or you can call them vapor trills, are visible trills of condensation. Condensation is the change of physical state of aggression of matter from gas into liquid. As airplanes are flying in the sky, water vapor is produced by the exhaust of the plane's engine. The air is cooled, then these particles turn into crystals from the H2O component of jet engine exhaust. When a contrail is formed, it usually disappears after a minute or less, much like your breath does in the winter. Contrails can be seen pretty much every day. They are short and narrow when seen, and they rapidly dissipate about half a mile behind the planes. This is the science of contrails and the facts. They form and then disappear. Contrails form in clean, cold, and dry air. Cold and dry conditions are found in the upper atmosphere. Let's compare contrails to normal cloud formation before we compare to them chemtrails. Clouds. Clouds require two fundamental elements to form, which is particles and moisture. Clouds do not form in clean or dry air. They require particulate matter called condensation nuclei. Example of condensation nuclei is water-absorbing clay minerals like sea salt. This condensation nuclei acts as a platform for condensation to take place, then decreasing surface tension and increasing the size of a droplet. Cooling the air is the most common way for condensation to occur and create clouds. Air can be cooled through contact with a cold surface or by uplift. Contact cooling occurs when air comes in contact with a cooler surface and conduction transfers heat out of the air. It needs a minimum of level humidity, 70% relative humidity. As you can see, cloud formation and contrail formation are totally different from one another. That's because it's totally different circumstances and totally different phenomena. Condensation from an airplane cannot form artificial clouds. Chemtrails, however, also have totally different characteristics. As contrails disappear, chemtrails stay and linger in the sky for hours, forming into artificial clouds. When a chemtrail is sprayed in the sky, they first appear to be contrails, but upon closer observation they are much thicker and they do not disappear. But even just watching them for 15 minutes already starts to spread. They repeatedly spray into the night, blocking out the moon's light on some nights. It is amazing to me how many people fail to notice the obvious difference between these two types of formations. One disappears and the other forms into artificial clouds, which then continue to fall on the geographical landscape it's sprayed above, and affects the air itself. The only conclusion would be that these mysterious trills are not contrails, but something totally different. Mysterious aircrafts are spraying into the sky all over the world. These aircraft spray materials into the sky 30,000 to 40,000 feet above the Earth's surface. These materials are being sprayed, expand rather than evaporate, and being sprayed commonly on very low levels of relative humidity at 30 to 40%. So now we can also conclude that these artificial cloud formations are not natural clouds and honestly look nothing like regular clouds. This formation of chemtrails cannot be achieved with water vapor alone. Examination of these formations is clearly seen that they are solid and it is not water vapor. These chemtrails do indeed have an effect on the planet and the life that dwells on it. Operations are being conducted by secret governments and it is affecting your life and everyone else's around you. All of these chemical spraying have turned our beautiful blue sky to white. It's very rare to see a nice clear sky nowadays, and we are facing the consequences that have been put forth from these evil people. The solid materials are now in the sky constantly, so we see no more. This is the air we breathe on a daily basis and is affecting our health whether you're aware of it or not. What is in these chemical sprays, and what were the tests to figure it out?
Before about 5 years ago, our skies were typically blue, and now you see it's covered with lines and haze. We began to eventually test to see if in fact there was credence to what we were seeing. And from the first test in precipitation in spring of '06 that tested 7 parts per billion, We've since had tests that have escalated as high as 3,450 parts per billion. That's a 50,000% increase in aluminum.
I sent this water, see it's right there, it says backyard rain gauge. Aluminum, 1,010 micrograms per liter of aluminum. And here's barium, 8 micrograms per liter of barium. And this is from the labs up in Redding, California. This is a certified government report. And here's what normal is. I asked them what would be normal. 0.5 would be normal.
For aluminum?
For aluminum. And the maximum allowed in drinking water, they said 50 micrograms per liter. And government action required at 1,000. Well, we're over 1,000.
We're so far off the scales for toxicity in aluminum.
The methods and results of all testing procedures is available to anyone at www.carnicom.com. First point. Traces of aluminum have been found, which is the cause of Alzheimer's. Next point. Traces of barium have been found in the air, and when ingested, it knocks all the potassium out of your body, which can cause muscle weakness and heart problems. Next point. Traces of magnesium have been found in the air. When magnesium and aluminum are combined, it creates blood clots within the body. That's why there is an epidemic for blood clots.
I'm a substitute teacher, and so I get to work with a lot of kids. I get to see a lot of kids in this county. And what I noticed in the last 2-3 years I've been working with the kids is that our kids, majority of them have upper respiratory problems. I'd say 2/3 to 3/4 of the kids are hacking and coughing most of the school year. I've spoken with teachers who've told me, I've brought this attention to them, have you seen these skies, all your life? Some of them have lived up here all their lives, and they say that, yeah, their skies look different from when they grew up, because it's a lot of times covered in this white milky haze. But they also have told me that they notice the kids, that the attention deficit, the attention span of the kids, it's their lives as teachers have become so much more difficult.
Water samples have been taken to be distilled to concentrate any metallic particles. Metallic-based materials were present upon observation. Next point. A study of pH, acid level of the rain, has been conducted. Highly unusual results have been present. Acid rain is not good for the environment and ecosystem.
This is black oak acorns. This should be very acid, and I'm getting 10 times higher than expected. There's something really wrong here.
pH tests, the rain, across the board, every single test was 10 times or more alkaline than it should be.
Even if you say, well, very poor stream, you might have gotten only 300. But even so, there's only 30 bugs here.
In the same stream you're looking at about 1,000, how many years ago were you finding that?
About 20 years ago, this had about 1,000.
Point. Telephotography has been used as a method to capture the planes while they are in operation of spring. Telephotography, or telephoto, is a photo that is captured by using a lens designed to make a distant object appear large. Upon close examination, one can see that the spraying of the aircraft is not even coming out of the engine most times, concluding that it's not contrail formation.
Spraying that chemtrail?
Yep. Feels like we're above it.
I know.
Otherwise we'd be dead right now.
I'm gonna put this on YouTube.